Uh, think here we go. It's the Beck Scrum. It's Sam and Michael. Yeah, Michael, what's up with you?
Yeah, I'm working on trying to tune the the learning algorithm a little better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's called a grid search,
Hmm.
where we try to find the most optimal pattern or the most optimal parameters for the smote, the upsampling.
Hmm.
So I've written some code, trying making progress on trying to do that. It doesn't seem like it's gonna make a huge difference, but
Uh-huh.
and it's kind of a it's called hill climbing, so it's are you familiar with the term hill climbing or
That was a good portion of what my PhD was on. Yes.
yeah, it's basically hill climbing.
Hmm.
So that's not always a great idea, right? It's not
Well,
always like
there's always the danger of getting stuck at local
in a valley.
maximum.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not blocked by anything at the moment.
No, and I think that's what you're saying is why well, there's also you can define randomness.
Hmm.
That's the when I was looking through the docs, like you define a grid or whatever,
Hmm.
but you can also define kind of a random grid.
Hmm.
Is that kind of the idea, like a stochastic,
Yeah, I mean,
so that you
you've got
bounce
this
around?
general. I mean, hill climbing just it's the inverse of gradient descent. It's often the way we would talk about it is in terms of you've got some kind of surface which we end up visualizing in 3D, whether you're hill climbing or going down. I mean, it's just flipped around. But so there can be local areas where you haven't found that better true solution, and so to the extent that you've got some degree of randomness, you can sort of jump around. The
Right.
danger is that if you've got too much jumping, then you actually, maybe you find the solution, but then you jump out of it. Um, and getting the balance for all of that right, and how you effectively search the space, particularly when it's multidimensional, it's difficult to do.
Yeah. So
So yeah, and but yeah, you're carrying on there, nothing blocking. I think you've got something for me to review as well.
yeah, I just put in the data mining channel yesterday a link to it. I think
Yeah, cool. Well, I might have a look at that in a moment.
it's very small. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Yeah, so then, well, on my side, we just did the local support meeting. We moved it earlier, and that did get a couple of more people, although not the people who had said that they would be able to make it if it was earlier. But I think that they're all in a situation where they often have intermittent access to power. So uh, yeah, and we're sort of talking about doing a bug fixing focused thing and some other good stuff like having a general open pairing session for local support and so on. We've got a big blocker there is that we're having all the Jasmine tests are failing on CI at the moment in a kind of rerun of an issue we had about a year ago. I've opened a ticket with Travis. That's all a bit annoying, but yeah, we keep on slashing away. Before that, we had the marketing meeting. That felt quite productive. We've crunched through a lot of tickets, not as it were, or just items on our to-do list. Um, yeah, good progress there, I think. And I was looking at website one this morning, and I think I've now got a proper fix for this double posting of the YouTube link, which I still encountered again on this Scrum, but I've got a fix. Gosh, what is it on staging? If I now push it to production, hopefully tomorrow, I will get away and avoid experiencing that bug again, or it's I've ended up burning a lot of time on it. Let's just push that out. Git push origin master. Okay. And so now, usually we'd be having the local support meeting coming up. We've got that out of the way. I've got a swathe of admin stuff to work through. In particular, there's now we need to see if we can get Met Plus deployed on Azure, and maybe I'll hook up with Joao later today. We will see about that. but yeah, otherwise getting through stuff. That's kind of our Scrum. I can go and have a little look at this. We could do looking at this data mining thing in real time. Yeah, so let's bring that up. New pull request. Okay, yeah, remove extraneous reserve from being put into the dataset to start with. So this is to remove bots and things?
Bots and you.
Right. And okay. Yep. But this is now Python rather than R.
That's just
But generating that CSV file that you were saying that then the R system interprets.
Yeah. This is from the original repo.
Right. So there's still, like, although Python is not used in the running system, it is used in terms of preparing the data.
Preparing the historic data right now, I think we could switch out to just use R, or we may. It's very fluid, I guess.
But yeah, this looks eminently sensible in getting rid of. Yeah, cool.
Do you prefer Python, or?
Well, I mean, I think, particularly since seeing that we can connect directly from R to Slack, and that there's that nice R environment with the inspector, and I'm not sure of an equivalent for that to Python. Does Jupyter use Python? No, that's something else, isn't it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does use. Oh, right. Okay, so Jupyter. I mean,
Jupyter Notebook uses Python, but you can also, I think, run R in there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have people coming through asking about Python projects. I guess it was there was a time when it was like, oh, the stuff we're doing in data mining is Python, but I think no, I'm happy either way, and I think work in what you feel most comfortable in. I would say.
Yeah, I think. I mean, to the extent that you can do it in R, it's a nicer environment for a lot of things. Whereas Python feels they've done a lot of things with pandas that kind of replicate a lot of what R does, but it's clunkier. Because kind of like R is built from
very much that statistical analysis
bottom up.
Yeah, in mind. Yeah, and Python is serving multiple.
It's serving general program.
Yeah. I mean, the attraction of Python to me in the past was the idea that we could be running it on Heroku or something, perhaps more easily. But you seem to have made short shrift of getting R running on Azure. So yeah, I think it's seeming good. What was that making me think of? Yeah, I guess it was making me think of the way in which trying to make projects attractive. I noticed that recently we've that I don't know how many, but there seems to be a strong attraction to the Wiki EDU project just because it happens to use React, and then also for RFM it has Ember, and so they're kind of like I've got people that I'm doing this like pair with me if you follow me on Twitter and talking to people about projects, and they're saying like that's the thing that they're attracted, and one could in a superficial sense say, oh right, let's stick React and or Ember or Angular, or all three of them, into website one or local support, and suddenly then that will be an attractive thing for people to work on. I think that's probably not the way to go, or it certainly, I don't know, seems kind of ridiculous. But yes, there certainly seems to be big industry movement to these front-end frameworks, and people are becoming, they care less and less about what the code is on the back end and getting experience with front-end frameworks.
Right. Yeah.
But so I'm getting set up for a run of probably about 3 pairing sessions in a row on Wikimedia EDU. I think related to that. I think there we go. Well, that's our Scrum. You and I were also trying to sort out a face-to-face session. Did I just say something like next Friday?
Friday, you were saying, yeah.
Yeah.
So not this Friday, but the one after, you were saying.
Yeah. And I think it will depend on. Well, yeah. Also, your clocks are changing this weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we could, if you thought it was. I think what's happening tomorrow. I can't. I've got to sit there. If you would prefer to do it, I know I'm sorting out. I've got sessions set up through the beginning of next. I need to go away and sit down and look through my schedule and make sure I'm not double booking people and things. But yeah, well, what would be the best day/time for you going forward?
I'm not sure. I mean, we could do Friday, or we could do. I know you try to do the weekends with Marion, or
Yeah, and I need to look about. Yeah, we could do a Sunday one.
yeah. But I know you haven't done one with Marion in a long time, right?
Well, I think I did one with on her 3 weeks ago, I believe.
Okay.
And yeah, it's what like the face-to-face plan is once a month. But yes, I should probably check in with her for. Yeah, I didn't do one the last 2 weekends. Since I was away.
So if we change to just the face-to-face with me,
mm-hmm.
I know I have some backlog of stuff, but can we do twice a month at half an hour if we go to that point?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah,
if we switch back to more like a client type of meeting, where we just discuss high-level things.
Sure.
I mean,
sure. Yes. Well, and I could also. I mean, this is the thing. Federico has asked. Like, it would be, I guess, good to have an interface where people could see, how much credit they've got, and there's something other. All of the information is there actually in YouTube because we record the sessions. So, yeah, I can either access it manually, or conceivably one could create a system with an API through API calls to sort of check and give people clarity on that. But yeah. So yeah, you should making that. Well, on that note, we were also talking about doing like various courses on Coursera that you were thinking of doing. Are you seeing the Coursera like honor code as being like a complete blocker to doing mob sessions?
I haven't really looked at the thing like the Coursera honor code.
Mm-hmm.
I know they have one, and
yeah, I mean, it seems like to me. I mean, like the whole starting thing for MOOCs was me doing Coursera MOOCs with a study group in London, and that's how everything got started. So it would seem odd to me that they would be in kind of.
It says your answers to homeworks, quizzes, and exams must be your own work, except for assignments which explicitly permit collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as the edX honor code.
So basically,
I mean, you could still
people could work together, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, this is what we're doing for the thing is that you can. I guess the key thing about the honor code is about not sharing your solutions and not working as a team on the solution. But I think that they, I mean, like the forums themselves. I mean, if you're stuck on a solution, you're encouraged not to suffer in silence for 3 weeks. You're supposed to say, I have this problem, and get help and support from the community, and I think they also very explicitly encourage people to have physical meetups. That Coursera has a whole big map showing you all the meetups around the world.
So I guess what would we do in any kind of
in a mob?
In a mob.
Well, I could imagine doing the thing that we do, which we used to do in the meetups, the MOOC meetups that we were having in London, which is that there are that week's materials, and then in the mob, one would do an hour session where it's right. So, what did everybody think of the materials this week? How's it going with the assignments? What we used to do was people would take turns to stand up on this is in the physical one, the whiteboard, and say, okay, well, this concept that they explain, this is how I would explain it, and then had kind of, I mean, it's a study group kind of setup.
Right, so not like a coding kind of exercise.
No, I mean, when we were running them all face to face, we wouldn't do the coding exercise. Doing it in a mob where everybody's at the computer and their fingers. I mean, one could be doing it. It's if it's Andrew Ng's course and he's using Octave again, then there's you can be showing in his course he would be running through example sets of code that involve actually typing stuff out in Octave. Occasionally showing this kind of thing. Here's this equation. How do we get this actually running in Octave? What have you? So it could be kind of a shared coding backwards and forth. But I think that
But just strictly going through examples that were from lecture, in other words.
right. And I mean, I think I think in that context, one could be like, okay, the assignment this week is, to get this thing working like this, that, and the other. And, if one was really strictly following the honor code, one would not
show code, but
one would not show the, code either way around. But, you would only show as much code as, I mean, you could look at what people are posting in the forums. And if people are saying, like, I'm getting stuck with this error from this code, then, I mean, I think that the whole point of the honor code is to avoid the situation. This is for edX and Coursera and all of them, is to avoid the situation where someone does no work and someone else basically does it for them, and then
right.
you're not actually doing any learning. So I think it's, I think every sensible instructor wants their students to collaborate in a way that's beneficial for learning. What they don't want is students collaborating in a way where somebody says, I can't bother doing this assignment this week, just give me your thing and I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've also, like, been in touch with Andrew Ng and had several correspondences with him about, like, I wrote based on one of his things, I put one of his example things on Code Wars. And, so he's the kind of person that we could reach out to and say, look, we're thinking of running thing in this. How does that work with you? And he could tell us if he thought it was appropriate or not. And he's very responsive to these kinds of things. So.
Okay. Yeah.
But are you enthused by the idea of doing the mob, or would you rather study on it alone?
I mean, we could do it. I'm not sure if I would run it myself, but
sure.
Who would run it? I don't know.
Well, I think that would depend. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm the one. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of thinking about the other mobs and how they're coming to the, the end of this or that. I mean, I think, yeah, with this, it feels like maybe if I don't take the lead on it, it wouldn't happen. But it's like I said, when, I don't know, this came up discussion before with you, me, and Federico, is like, I don't think I can, just like keep adding mobs. I think I need to limit the number of mobs that I do. So if I was going to take the lead on, like a neural networks deep learning one, then I'd probably stop doing, the React one, for example, which I think is coming naturally to sort of a turning point anyway. But the other thing would be is like for example, the neural networks deep learning one. You're saying it's behind the paywall, and we would need to like.
Well, the homework is behind the paywall.
Oh, okay.
Everything that we would maybe discuss in the mob would actually be free.
Right.
Just be the lectures, basically, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So maybe that's an interesting.
See that for free, but then to actually do the homework and the quizzes and all that.
Yeah. Which is an interesting thing. I mean, the other thing would be to reach out to Coursera and say, "Hey, actually, we're a charity, like we've done with, like other people have donated their stuff to us." Did you have a look at the I found that Coursera, like, benefits for government and non-profits.
Yeah, I saw that. It sounded more like it was like for the whole group, or I don't know, like you would buy it on behalf of the whole group.
Yeah, it sounds like they're probably like want to give a discount to a large organization that wants to offer training to
like a lot of people, or
I mean, they've got
part of their staff or whatever.
Small implementations, 250 learners.
So let me show you my screen. I haven't actually. Let me show you this. See, like the quiz here. The quizzes, I haven't actually upgraded yet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like the first quiz or whatever.
It's free.
And these are just conceptual questions.
Yeah.
But then when you actually want to submit,
then
it's like, oh, you have to sign up.
Right.
And then I think there's like a homework. I'm not sure whether this. I think this is like completely behind the wall.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I'm looking at here is they've got like a their government whatever thing is like, yeah, like $100, $100 US per person per year, which I guess is a saving on that like $47 per year or what have you. And uh, like this is the discount. I mean, it's based on you
four
kind of
hundred dollars per person per year.
for
So
unlimited there, or $100 per person for just one course.
versus, so if I were to buy it on my own, it'd be 600. So that's, yeah, a 1/3 savings.
Right. So, but for example, right. I mean, I guess it depends, like whether you want, but it involves commitment for the full year, and you might just want to do it for like X many months or
Yeah.
so. But potentially, we could sign up Agile Ventures through this, and then get people the discount as part of their premium membership.
Right.
Would that be
Well,
gone?
that would be attractive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All
I
right.
think that would be very attractive. At least for me, it would be attractive because
Yeah.
I would probably, what I would do is I would probably try it for a couple months on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I was like, oh, I really want to go with this,
Mm-hmm.
then I would probably just, purchase the 1-year plan
Mm-hmm.
for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you would have to remit the payment, and I would have to remit the payment to you.
Mm. Well, I mean, it would be, so yeah. So there's
But
a
that could be arranged.
minimum number of people is 5.
Oh, so that's,
So basically, yeah,
so we
I mean,
need to get 5 people.
yeah, if we had 5 people who were interested in doing this, we could get, you know, so that
Marion may be interested. I don't know. You could talk
yeah,
to her.
yeah.
I know she was interested in like the unlimited
Mm-hmm.
because there's some courses she's interested in taking.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If we can get it, you can get enough people together, then we could do this. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to make a cup of tea, and
Would you be interested in doing it yourself or no?
yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, I am. I mean, I'm kind of like right now, I'm talking to people about creating up a mob based on the Odin project, which I'm kind of keen to do. I'd love to do on Elm, but I'm kind of like, ah. And then, I really enjoyed Andrew Ng's first course. So I would be interested to do a follow-up course for him. I don't know about how many other Coursera courses that I want to do, but I would certainly be interested to do like his follow-up course. So
yeah, the course is. It's actually not just one course; it's a whole series. It's
okay,
like 4 different courses. But yeah.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, I think I probably wouldn't want to, like right now. I wouldn't want to put in like 4 times the amount of money for unlimited courses because I'm not sure about timings and things. Like I think like setting it up for a 1-year plan thing and making it available to premium members who can join in. That's kind of attractive. I think then if there was a lot of positive take up from that, maybe we could explore doing, we'll see how many people wanted 1 course versus unlimited. So
Right.
cool. Anyway, good chatting with you. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I could talk to Marianne. Feel free to talk to Marianne or talk to anybody else you think might be interested in this kind of thing. Maybe Federico would be interested.
Federico might be interested. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Good catching up with you. Bye for now.